following is a BDRP classic. We hope you enjoy. Don't make me laugh now.
You can make...
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on tonight's Late Show. It is my special honor to present our BDRP Europe field researcher out of Germany, Mrs. Kerstin. Kerstin, how are you?
Hi, Dee. Thanks for the invite. It's
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm pretty fine. I'm excited and yeah, thank you.
Well, I know people are excited to hear about your research, and everything that they'll see throughout is the beautiful countryside that you research in your native Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh yeah,
for the people who didn't get to hear you when you joined us the first time, why don't you start at the beginning and work your way up into your research and let everyone know where it started with the cryptids and where you want to take your research as a part of the BDRP.
Oh yeah, it started last year at September, and it was a completely private research, you know. Who knows my story know that I had so much activities here, my encounters in my backyard, and after the panic, I got some panic attacks. After that, I just wanted to know why this happened to me, and I started to investigate, to make pictures, and I just was looking at the window and looking. I tried to spot something, and yeah, that was a start. And then
you got a great
it goes...
shot out of your window.
Oh yeah,
The best I've seen.
you mean? Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have tons of shots in the backyard and on the patio, and especially this one at the window. Yeah, was pretty scary, because it's so close to the room.
Absolutely.
I mean, just the glass between them and me. Yeah.
But
And
you of course are a very brave person, because there's two types of people. There's the people who see these things and they're affected for the rest of their lives in a negative way. Then there's people like you who have an encounter, know it's real, and pursue it to get to the truth. And it's very admirable.
Thank you. Yeah.
Very well.
You know, we discussed it in our family as it all happened to me. And my niece, she said, "Close the fucking shutters and don't go out again," she said. Yeah. And I said, I can't. When I know something is going on there, and I don't know what it is exactly and why it happened, it drives me crazy. I need to know. And so I started my research, and this was completely private because I didn't plan to be a researcher or something.
Right, just to gain understanding. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, exactly. I was sure it has a deeper meaning for my life. This doesn't happen just randomly. It was too high activity. I mean, so massive. Yeah, they was looking inside of the window, and like they wanted my attention, and I gave attention, definitely.
In the picture of the one in the window, even with that, like, do you have any worries about pursuing this further or researching further into it? Do you think that maybe it would draw more attention from these creatures? Do you have any worries or concerns?
I personally, I think you are chosen from them to see them, to have a kind of contact with them. From the beginning, I had the feeling I have no choice. There's just one way, one straight way. Of course, I was concerned and I was unsure. I wasn't sure if it's dangerous or not, you know. But I had no choice. Just and the thing in the window, I don't know. It was huge, black, and scary, of course, yes, but I didn't had a bad feeling. You know, my intuition said to me that I'm safe.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All the researchers I've talked to, and from my own personal experience, I've gone out there where I've turned right around, without even getting out of the vehicle. I've gone in there and hiked, 6, 8 miles, and there are these different feelings. I don't know how to explain it, but you almost know
I
that
know.
you may be in danger, and then sometimes you know that they're here, but be respectful and no harm will come to you.
Yeah.
And most people, I don't know if most people
Absolutely.
just don't listen to that, because there's a lot of people who go into the woods looking for these things who have no business being out there.
Yeah. This is the inner voice,
Yes, ma'am.
and it's easy. You just have to follow this voice. She will tell you the right way, and this feeling can be very strong. And I don't know how other researchers doing it, but when I get this bad feeling like I'm not welcome or something, immediately I turn away. I turn around and go another way, or break off the research for the day.
Yes, ma'am. And yeah, and
I think that's the
I
best
think it's
way.
like through the I know the exact feeling you're talking about. I always, after the fact, I always thought it was like God or the Holy Spirit, like telling us, forewarning us of danger, because it's something powerful, and I've never
Yeah,
had any regrets. And I know you're probably the same way. Like when you get that bad feeling and you go back home, sometimes you go out and you think, oh, if I would have went a little bit further, I may have gotten a more evidence or a good shot. But when that bad feeling happens and you leave, for me at least, there's no regret whatsoever. I don't think about it.
exactly. This feeling is the deep intuition that can save your life. Actually,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
mean, the best evidence doesn't help you when you're dead. I
Right. Or anyone
mean,
else.
or anyone else, exactly. And it's also very important for me to show respect for for the nature and for everything what is living there in the woods, because I'm just a guest in this area. I'm not living there. I'm a guest. I'm a human. And when I go back, for example, I feel I'm not welcome, and I say, okay, I turn around. This is also a kind of respect. So they see that I'm not aggressive, that I'm not disrespectful.
Right. Or
Um,
pushing them.
I want to go again in this area. Yeah, I mean, if you go in a bar and you're fighting with all the people there, for sure you won't go there again next week. Yeah, it's the
Right.
same thing.
Hmm. That's really interesting. Just thinking about this feeling that we get, because we're not the only ones. Everyone who's pursued this adamantly, as far as the research field and people who've witnessed it, there's always this feeling and this atmosphere
Yeah,
before you even know the creature's there sometimes.
absolutely.
I often wonder what that is. And a lot of people, and I often myself thought that it was maybe, how we all have our own electromagnetic field to a very small degree, our auras, as some people call it. Like, I don't know. I think about this and that and what it could be, but I sincerely am baffled as to what they are bringing with them, this environment and this feeling that they bring with them, no matter where they are.
Um, I
Not just the
think,
Dogman creature, but the Sasquatch creature as well. It seems like they all have their own thing. It's weird.
humans lost a lot the last many thousand years. I mean, intuition and instinct is a very strong, powerful energy,
Yes.
and they still have it, and we lost it. And a few people have still this deeper connection to the nature, in ancient times, there was, I think, much more people. When you read stories about, I wrote a lot of stories about Siberia and the beginning from the humans which are living there. They was deeply connected to the area and to the nature, and they followed their intuition, they followed their dreams, and they have this deep connection to the spirits out there. And we, in our modern world, we lost that all. We are just
Yes.
we are trapped in our smartphones and TVs and jobs, and yeah, we are just running around like mouses in a box.
Yeah, in a completely artificial environment.
Exactly.
Humans don't
Yeah.
live in the creation as it is. We live in our own creation, which is a fabricated creation. It's not the world as God made it. It's not nature. So we move further away from that connection that you're talking about, I
Yeah.
believe. And I think some of it's purposeful, like the smartphones and these apps that make you focus on yourself and not on the world around you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um, I I can just speak for myself, but this is a double connection. I mean, what your intuition said to you and what happens to you, and this make your intuition stronger and deeper. For example, me, before my encounters, I was always interested in various things, you know, cryptids, aliens, everything. I have a hungry brain, you know. And
Right. That's awesome.
now, after my encounters, I changed a lot. I mean, I cannot enjoy to go shopping or in a coffee shop. I do it, but it feels empty now.
Right.
Um, I have now a much deeper connection to the nature, and sometimes I got the feeling it's like they are calling me, you know. So this deep straight feeling, I have to go again in the field, and then a deep connection, and yeah, and I see the world with other eyes now. I see so much things that I thought what is important, and I've now it is not important at all. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
much senseless things.
Meaningless things that we don't need to begin with. It's not essential for our survival, and unfortunately, that's probably the most of what people deal with throughout their day. They care sincerely about things that do not matter. There's an entire world
Exactly.
that's natural, that's out
Yeah.
there, that people think's a part of folklore and mythology.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
in your research, you've captured a lot of fantastic footage, in my opinion, of
Thanks.
the Dogman creature. What are your thoughts
Yeah.
on the dynamic between the Dogman creature and what we call Bigfoot or Sasquatch? Do you think that they occupy the same regions and even the same small areas? Do they work together, do you think? Because in some of your footage, like as Brother Bob over there in Bigfoot in Germany, um, you'll see these two creatures together. Not maybe
Yes.
not working in tandem, but they are within the same small frame of a picture. So that means that they're not just constantly warring among themselves. What do you think about it?
Um, Actually, I'm sure that they're not just share the same area. They have a connection. They're interacting together because I also noticed that they are too close to be enemies. They are definitely they respect each other. How deep the connection between these two species is, I cannot say that.
Yeah, this is a giant question.
This is, yes, this is a giant question. It's a few weeks ago. I had a funny imagination in my head, like the Bigfoot has the dogman like a pet, like humans have a dog.
I've seen people's footage. It looks like that. It looks like there's a giant four-legged dog type creature following this Bigfoot. which
Yeah,
I mean, that's scary in and of itself, because people are afraid
maybe.
of the Dogman creature. Just
See it
imagine
like
it.
this.
Yeah,
We humans, we are also a kind of predator, you know? So we are
absolutely.
eating meat and we are hunters. And dogs too. And dogs like to be close to humans. So maybe the dogmen just like to be close to the Bigfoots, you know? Um,
Just naturally. That makes
yeah,
sense.
maybe it's just this kind of canine personality, yeah? They like that, maybe. Maybe it's quite simple.
I mean, most of the answers that I've found in this stuff are a whole lot more simple than we try to make them. We overcomplicate things with our intellectual minds,
Mm-hmm.
not thinking that we're
Yeah, I think
talking
so
about
too.
natural creatures. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fascinating, though. You may be right, but it's still kind of scary, because I've always said that Bigfoot's more dangerous than the Dogman creature. I wholeheartedly believe that. And to think that some of these
That's
Bigfoot could be
interesting.
the master of of these Dogman creatures, that's a lot to unpack. That's
Yeah. Maybe the dogman is in fact superior. Yeah. But I think the dogman choose to be a friend of the Bigfoot just because he like it. I mean, why should an animal? I mean, I personally think they are well developed animals,
I
and
agree.
why why shouldn't they just do things because I like it?
Right.
Yeah.
We look at things in these ominous terms, like they have to be doing this because they are hunting people with Dogman. You're maybe right. Maybe they're just doing it because it's cool. Like there's not a lot of Dogman. I don't believe that there are as many. Maybe where you are, but there's not as many in the states. Because if when you look at
Hmm.
European legends and folklore, there's a lot of
Yeah.
werewolves and all sorts of Dogman creatures
Oh,
under any kind of name.
yeah. Here the landscapes and the nature structures are a bit different from the states, I think. I personally think that through the industrialization, you know, at the beginning of the century, they had built here so much fabric, so much building, so much,
Right.
um, yeah, such an artificial area. And a dogman can easier survive in Europe, I think, than a Sasquatch. Because I
I
think a
believe so.
Sasquatch need more space, much more space, I think.
Yes, ma'am. I agree, because they seem to
Yeah.
roam and wander. Even the ones I've dealt with that are pretty much within the same 10 to 30 mile area. You can go over that whole area and not see them, and then they'll be back. Within 4 weeks. So I think they do a lot of wandering
Mm.
around. Plus, they're bigger
Yeah.
and more massive, so they probably have to travel a little bit
Exactly.
further to get their food.
Yeah, that what my thought. Because we have here deep forests. I told you many miles you can walk through the forest without any highways or something. But maybe sometimes a small rural road, you know. But it's yeah, it's a good area for both. But when you look the map from Germany, we don't have so much areas like this. Just a few were
Hmm.
really big, deep nature reservation parks and forests. I would say maybe 10, maybe 20. Yeah. So yeah, here in Hessen, this is the biggest area. People also call it the green lung because it's really a healthy environment and yeah.
The green lung. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. In fact, it's the air here is really clean and fresh, and we don't have so much buildings here. I mean, my city, yeah, it's more a village, you know, but over 70% is just forest. So this is a lot.
Yeah,
This is not a village. It's a forest with a few homes.
and I think you were telling me once that there was actually a home somewhere deep in the forest where there's like no roads or right with someone living there still.
Oh yeah, we have some interesting buildings in the forest. I noticed that years ago. I noticed that I remember a few years ago I was deeper in the Taunus Mountains. It was near Finstertal, this direction, near Schmitten. Schmitten, it's the name of the village, and yeah, we were walking there and we saw some tree line, and we wanted to walk into the forest through the tree line, but when you go a little bit deeper, you see it's closed. It's a private property. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, not a property, it's a villa. And there was a rural road, deep in the forest, no other buildings or something else in the nearby, and I'm asking myself, no sign, nothing. I mean, how can a postman find this house? He will never received anything, It's
And there was
weird.
people actually living there that deep into the forest.
Absolutely, it was a luxurious entry, like in the movies when a black limousine drive into the property.
Yeah, the long spiraling driveway going in.
Yeah, and the door, this metal, a steel door, very, very elegant, and yeah.
So these people aren't probably just wandering through the woods. They're probably sitting in their big home and working, coming home, because they're right in the middle of crazy activity.
In the middle of nowhere, and we have a lot of streets here without names, and I'm sure this has also no name. It just called Unknown Road. Yeah, most of them, if you're deeper in the forests, they have no name. Yeah. Or yeah.
That would be ideal, though. I'd love to live right in the smack dab in the middle of some forest, miles away from cities and noise.
Me too.
That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Some lucky guys do.
True. God bless them. So, in your research, as a part of the BDRP, you'll be interviewing people because you speak how many languages? I said it wrong the first time.
Yeah, you said it wrong. You said 6 languages, but it's actually 4, maybe 5. So German, a little bit Russian, English, of course, Serbian, and Bosnian, but it's the same. So yeah.
Well, if you speak 4 languages,
nearly 5.
If you speak 4 languages, you speak 5 more languages than I do, I think. So, but I'm really looking forward, because I think that in Europe, it's just like it is here. A lot of people probably encounter these things, but they keep it to themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's a huge secret here.
Right. As it was, in parts of the rural United States. Like, as I grew older and started getting into this field, it's crazy the amount of people who actually, in the older generations, who've seen these things. And if you ask them, they're like, yeah, I saw them when I was a kid, and it's nothing. They don't think anything of it.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be extremely fascinating. You're going to give a voice to a lot of people who normally wouldn't have one, just because you are experienced and you're an adamant and good researcher in the field, active in the field, and people don't want to be looked at as crazy or ridiculed, and I think you'll be able to give them some comfort and allow them to open up.
Oh, that's what I really, really hope, because I know from my own experience that you feel really lost after an encounter. It's a feeling you are scared and you don't know what to do, and you feel desperate, and it's not a good feeling at all. And if I can help anyone, it really would makes me happy, because it's much easier when you talk about it, when you have somebody who believes you and who trusts you and who know you're not this helps so much. The first time after my encounter, I had a close contact with Matt from DMT, and
Yes, Dead Man
he
Talking.
helped
Great
me.
guy.
Dead Man Talking, yeah, and he helped me a lot, because he was honest and he heard what I was saying, and I remember our first email. Immediately he responds, "I believe you 100%." It felt so good, just,
Yes.
I felt somebody's really take it serious what I'm saying, and
I was one that have myself committed to the madhouse when I first had my first sighting. I thought I was losing my mind, but adamantly
yeah,
going back and researching and talking to people who have been in the field, adamantly researching this stuff for decades, that helped out phenomenally. And
absolutely.
I know people who've done this for years who would definitely not go into the parts of the forest that you are. So I saw that
Oh,
and was impressed completely.
oh, that's
So
interesting to me.
it is interesting. It's sad too in a way, but it's true. But tell us more about these dogman creatures that you've encountered close to your house, because you've had multiple encounters right near your home.
I had too much encounters. I mean, expect from the two big encounters that I had, the first one was the most impressive and the most creepy encounter, because it was my first and it was deep in the night, and yeah, this was so powerful, and it really scared me. If you want, I can tell again how it was. Maybe a
Yeah,
lot of people
absolutely.
out there, they don't know.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Yes, feel free.
Okay, so the first encounter that I had, it was late. It was very late after midnight, and I'd made a manicure, and as it's done, I decided to go outside on the patio to smoke, because I don't smoke at home, and it was uh, about, yeah, nearly 1 a.m. Uh, yeah, I think it was at 1 a.m. and I was sitting outside, and I still polished my top coat on it, and I smoked a cigarette, and I felt watched, and I don't like that at all.
Hmm.
And when it's, I know this area. I living here since 6 years, and I'm always at night outside on a patio, because I just like the silence, the fresh air, and I was never scared about. Sometimes I heard something, but mostly it was just a bird or a mouse or something,
Right. Some small
I
animal,
I saw a deer one time. Yeah, that's it.
but nothing
So
that would make you have fear until this point.
no, no, nothing. And I was sitting there, and I heard footsteps, and I mean bipedal footsteps, and I gave attention to this, because who knows who's outside at this time? Maybe a freak, I'm a woman. I could be raped or something. Of
Right.
course.
Lord forbid. Yeah, it's this modern world. You never know. Somebody wandering around with
Yeah.
bipedal footsteps in the middle of the night.
I, I was never thinking about a dogman or something. I thought more, maybe it's a human, and so I was looking around a bit. Normally at this time, nobody goes out here, and nobody's on the street, and also my neighbors who have dogs, they don't go at this time. But I was looking around, maybe one of them is walking around there with dogs or something, but
Right.
nobody were there. And then I heard it again. Yeah. Left for me. We have on the left side from my patio is a huge meadow. I mean, our property is big, and it has no fence. It has no fence. It is open, completely open, everything, except from my patio. I have a small, tiny fence. Yeah, just a border between the meadow and my patio. And the other side, the end of the property, there's a small rural road, and the fields beginning immediately. And after the fields is a tree line from the forest, and it's about 300 meters from my backyard.
So you're just right there on the cusp of the forest itself.
Yeah, it's very close to the forest.
Mm.
Yeah. And I mean, I see the forest when I'm sitting outside and I'm looking straight. I see the forest. So, and I heard this bipedal footsteps again, and I began to be nervous, you know, and I thought, okay, I think I will go inside now. And right in this moment, it was pow! Something was running over the meadow into my direction. It was something what is heavy, you know.
Right.
I mean, I can, even if it's dark and I don't see it exactly, I can say this was not a rabbit. Yeah, you feel if something massive is coming close to you, you can feel that.
Right.
Yeah, it's this vibe.
Did you hear the footsteps as they were hitting as he was running too? Surely you could have.
Yes, absolutely. And what was running to me, it was on all fours. But believe me, I didn't thought about it. It happens in a second, you know. This was so incredible fast. I don't thought about what it is or will happen now. I didn't stand up and was looking what's happened. I felt and I heard that something is running. I mean, directly to me, to my patio. So I didn't thought about it. I jumped in. That's it. In a second, I left everything outside. Yeah, I just jumped to the door. What is close? I mean, just maybe 2 meters. I was 2 meters from the door. Yeah, this was no magic to jump inside.
Right.
It was easy. And I jumped inside and I shut down and I closed the door. And I didn't watch at all what it was. I was totally scared. I mean, this was first time in my life, I would say, death, fear. A feeling what I didn't knew until this happens to me. A deep, 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 deep fear. And, you know, I just run inside, through the living room, into the corridor, you know? The hallway? Is it the right word?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And I hide it. I hide myself like a little child because I was so scared. I was really afraid that this thing or this person or whatever it was, I didn't know what it was exactly.
Because you heard 2 steps, and then you heard the 4 steps as it was running towards you, which has its own distinct sound. So that must have been terrifying.
Was
unnatural.
Unnatural. That's exactly the right word. In a second, I felt it immediately. That is something not natural, something not an animal, what I know, and not a human too. And that it was why I was so scared, because I felt it is not something normal, and my legs, I was trembling, you know, so my legs was shaking, and wow, I was really totally scared. This was my first encounter, and I will never forget this night.
And you mentioned earlier, um, and I understand and I appreciate you sharing with everyone that encounter and not everything else you've been through. But you mentioned
Mm-hmm.
earlier, like having a panic attack, and we spoke
Yes.
about that before. I think a lot of people deal with that. That's why I like crypto PTSD, because nobody really touches on or thinks about the aftermath of our bodies and minds aren't set up to. In academia, they don't let us know that these things are out there or that they're real. So it's a complete shock to your system, almost.
Absolutely. This was a completely panic attack. I mean, my body doesn't stop this. Is it right when I say shakings?
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Uh, yeah, I couldn't stop it. I don't know how long, but it was longer than 10 minutes. I think much longer than 10 minutes. I was scared like never before in my life, yeah. Um, this was it completely. I had really panic and I didn't know what to do. And, whew, yeah, this night changed a lot.
And it's crazy how we pursue these things, and that's the initial reaction. I think every researcher at least, has when they see one of these creatures up close or even hears it. Like you said, my first real encounter was about the same as yours. Something big shadowing me on the other side of some bushes, and I thought I was losing my mind. And then, like you said, the shakes, and because it wasn't human. Like
Yeah,
these things move in their own distinct way, even inside the animal kingdom. There's nothing like them.
yeah. And I think um, the reason why we are so deeply scared of them, especially when we have our first encounter, is that they have some frequencies um, that make us such a feeling of panic and fear.
Like the infrasound.
I think something like this. Of course, they are predators, and you can feel that, and that's
Right.
scary enough. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, but I think there's much more behind this.
I absolutely agree. There is that feeling that something dangerous is near, but there's something
Oh
else
yeah,
attached to it. Like it's almost like they force you to be fearful.
absolutely.
And
Um,
it's weird. They
this
don't
is
have technology, so how could they accomplish this?
um, yeah, but they have big lungs, and we don't know much about the anatomy. And
Right.
I mean, the craziest things can build in. I wrote an article um, that scientists found in the brain of cats some parts, tiny parts, are made of metal, a kind of metal, like
Really?
metallic. Yeah.
Huh.
And the scientists said that's the reason why the cats have such a great navigation. They cannot get lost. Yeah, they have a navigation system built in.
In their brain. That's
They
awesome.
Yeah, their orientation from these animals is so perfectly because this tiny amount of metal in the brain um, help them to navigate on the magnetic fields. So they
That's
are
extremely fascinating. I've never heard that before.
really. Oh
Really,
yeah,
I know
I read
humans do.
a few articles. Yeah,
They say
so
that
they
man has more metal in their nose, more so than women. And this isn't a joke. It sounds like it, but I have to look it up
wow.
myself. And that's how men are naturally more um, location. They have more location awareness, I guess, than women, supposedly. But there
Yeah, that's
is science
possible.
behind it.
Yeah, like the cats, and it's the same thing. So they are walking compasses. Yeah, and so if this is possible, we don't know what is possible in the body from a dogman. What have they for special features?
Right.
Yeah. Um,
I didn't
There's
even know that
maybe the
about the
same.
common house cat, and they've been we've
Yeah,
plenty of
a
documentation
common
on
house
them.
cat. Yeah. Oh, a house cat. They are pretty perfectly developed beings. Ask Michelangelo.
Right.
One of the best developed animals, and
You taught me
yeah, it's a
something new on
felin,
them.
and
And
yeah,
yeah, if I can learn something new about your common house cat that's everywhere, who am I to say that? I'm happy to say that I don't know what these creatures can do and what they can't do, or their anatomy or physiology. I don't think anyone does. Um, there might be some
that
people in government that have studied them, but sometimes I question that too, because they're just too clever, in their own environment to be captured or caught easily.
oh yeah, I mean, cats are their own mystery.
Right.
Who own the cat know what I mean.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
I had a cat too in the past, and they are mysterious beings.
And then when
They
you
know.
apply that to a dog man that we know nothing about, and it takes it back around, like maybe they have some pheromone or some scent that they release, or like
I
the
think they have it all.
yeah, they
I
have it.
think they
That's what I
have
was
a
about to
lot
say.
of
They have it
special
all.
features.
their natural
Seriously.
electromagnetic field, the pheromones that come with the scents that they emit.
Plus the spirituality,
Right.
and um, some people don't believe that, but I tested it, and in fact, they are telepathic in a kind of way. I don't know how
Really?
it works and why it works, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you got to tell us about that one. Like, if you don't mind, like, how did you test it?
Well, you know, I had them here on my property. I had them on the meadow.
Right.
I saw them running on the way here, the way from between the house and the parking area. One night around 11 p.m., I was standing outside to smoke, and I saw one thing running fast on all fours at this way. Yeah, this was scary as fuck. I mean, I was standing there, and I heard bipedal footsteps, and I was like, "Oh fuck, shit!" Again, it was after my encounters. And then I saw a young guy was walking there on the street, and I thought, who? Okay, it was just a guy. Yeah, just a dude is walking there. And a few seconds later, I thought this thing running. Yeah, it was a double shock because I had a bad feeling. I heard the footsteps. I thought a dogman is there, and there was a human. And then I relaxed, and then I saw the dogman. Fuck. And
Wow.
yeah, brown, fury, and fast, and on all four like a monkey was running there. Poof, incredible fast. And yeah. So what wanted I to say?
Do what now?
I forgot
You lost your
my
you
line.
lost you forgot
I
your
lost
line.
my line.
uh, you're
Fuck.
telling me about how these things are telepathic,
Mm,
or how they
yeah,
could have
exactly.
slight
So,
telepathy.
so, and after I had them on my pictures, I spotted them at the window, very close on my patient, and I thought about, hey, I'm a smoker. I have to go outside. What can I do? Yeah. What would I do when I'm outside to smoke and they jump on a patient?
Right.
I mean, I get the perfect picture, yeah, but maybe I'm dead. So,
Yeah, being alive is a little bit more important in that case.
yeah, so yeah, this is not really what I want. And so one night I was standing outside, and I felt they are around. I felt highly watched, and so I decided, okay, give him a try. Just do it telepathic. It's crazy. It's completely nuts, but yeah, just give it a try. And I did it. So I concentrated like meditation. And it was like I'm saying in my mind, you're not allowed to come on my patio when I'm outside. Never ever. This is my territory. I respect you, you respect me, you know?
Right.
Like this. I have no problem if you come into this area, but please not close to me, not on my patio when I'm outside. So, totally nuts. But it worked, actually. I mean, after this, they never come so close to my patio when I'm outside, you know?
And before they did.
Because I had this second encounter where I was standing outside and something huge was standing there on the left side behind the fence in the darkness. I told you, I just saw a part of the shoulder and the arm, you know?
Yeah.
And
You've gotten pictures
because
from
there
that
was
area
a,
as well.
yeah, the shine was from the light, from the outside lights, was a little bit on the fur from this side, from the shoulder arm. The rest was complete in darkness, and yeah, this was a bit too close to me, honestly, and
Too
I
close for
never
comfort.
want to see this again. Yeah, um, I mean, I'm a researcher now, and I want to have close pictures, but honestly, I don't want to have them at my home, especially not when I'm alone there outside in the darkness at night.
Absolutely.
Um,
That's completely reasonable. You know, and
yeah,
we like to try to control, I catch myself doing it too, and I wish I could. We like to control the variables of where we go in the research. But when they're that close to home, I lived only 10 miles, maybe 10 miles away from my research area. And even being that far away would kind of make me, leery and nervous, that they'd cross the farmlands and be at my front door if I were to do anything to bring disrespect or be dishonorable or mean
yeah,
spirited,
to make a distance. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah, that's I've heard encounters where people have been tracked for 20 miles because they've gone in and were adamantly disrespectful. I've talked to one gentleman who actually consciously knew that these things were in the area, and he went through and destroyed nests, um, and they had fur in them, so they were active nests and structures and the arches. He destroyed everything he could see and peed on them.
What?
Yeah, just to invoke, or
What?
not invoke, but
He's.
yes, to provoke
Oh,
these
what the
things.
fuck?
And they followed him to his
Okay.
house, and like he got hurt. So
Fuck yeah, of course.
it's
Wow.
very
That was an
serious.
incredible stupid idea. Sorry, but
Right?
this
Yeah,
is
I
really
agree.
bad idea. Oh my gosh.
I mean, if he wanted to
Oh,
have definitive proof that they are real, that's a good way to do it. I think he knows for a fact
absolutely.
now.
Oh my god. Yeah, yeah, no, he know it exactly. Absolutely. Definitely.
So
Um,
I'm
and
sorry. Go ahead. I didn't
and
mean to cut
I
you off.
just wanted to say that I have the same thing I did in the field, um, as I was up in a forest, and you said to me, go up and make me a few good pictures,
Right.
and I had this one moment when I thought, I don't know, I feel something's around, but I cannot see anything. And so I also said, come on, come close to me. Yeah, like a comment in my mind. And exactly at this point, I made a few good pictures from them. So,
Mm.
yeah, you don't need to talk with them. They feel what you want, or they can. I wouldn't say they can read your mind, but there's a connection, something like this.
I believe that. I think that they know our intentions.
Yeah.
Um, as far as I try out the telepathy, I think anybody who's been out there in the woods looking for these things more than once, or they're trying to do it recreationally or professionally or whatever the case, I think that everyone's tried to speak to them in their minds or whatever. I did nothing
Mm-hmm.
happened with me. I don't think. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but I doubt very seriously. But I do believe, just from going through there so many times, that certain movements, and the mood you're in, I think, affects it a lot too. And that may sound crazy, but just like a dog that you own, you've had since you were a kid, it'll know when you're upset without you saying anything. It'll know when you're happy, and it'll be happy, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think they very well know rules, what is allowed and what is forbidden.
Yes.
They know what they can do and what is what's forbidden, and I'm sure they have their own rules too.
Absolutely. That's the only way they survived. I don't believe that they're out there just killing everybody, you know, everybody they see, or
No,
they would have been killed off a long time ago.
no. I would dead 100 times if they do it like that. No, they don't. They have other things. What they are doing. They're not hunting people. I mean, it's possible. How I said to you that I think every one of them have his own personality. Some are maybe more curious. Some are more aggressive. Yeah. Some maybe
Yes,
are
absolutely.
mad. And I don't know what would happen to a Sasquatch or to a Dogman if he's, for example, ill, sick in some kind of way. Maybe that could make them more aggressive. I don't know. But they are not man-eater. They are running around all day long and hunting for humans. It's just a legend. It's just Hollywood crap.
Yeah, that's something to build it up, and, you know, to build up the narrative and the folklore. I do believe that some may go rogue, or like you said, maybe they get some sort of disease that makes their mind
Yeah,
snap.
maybe.
You know,
It's definitely possible. I mean, a fox can be very dangerous if he's sick. Yeah.
right?
So, yeah, this
And
is.
since they do have that, and I agree 100% that they are individuals. They have their own individual personality. Just like
Yeah.
some people are good, some are innately bad. I think that some of
Assholes.
the, yeah, there you go. I think some of these can be, you know, the same thing. Like they can just be bad.
Yeah, absolutely, they are.
So psychopaths or sociopaths, you know.
Yeah, this is the I think the only risk for the researchers. Um, I think I personally, I really honestly say to you, I think the risk is higher to be killed by a terrorist or with a car accident than to be killed by a Bigfoot or a Dogman.
I agree.
Honestly, and you must be very unlucky if you find a Sasquatch or a Dogman who's so maybe sick or aggressive, hateful in a kind of way that he would actually kill you.
And they wouldn't be in active areas because you know, the tribe or the group that they're in would excommunicate them. Basically, they would push them out for the survival and safety of their own tribe or their own kind. You know, they
Oh,
don't
yeah.
they wouldn't. I don't think that they would tolerate. These are elusive
I think
creatures,
so too.
very very intelligent creatures, and
Absolutely.
I think that they understand the risk of having a wild card, you know, that's inclined to just taking people and kidnapping them, eating them and stuff. Um,
I'm skeptical about it. Everything is possible. I mean, but
right. Well, I look at the Native American tales and or folklore or oral traditions or whatever anybody wants to call it. I'll say it's true history, and there are a
oh
certain
yeah,
type of Bigfoot that they call the Janasqua. That is, legend has it, they are the man eaters. They're bigger, more aggressive, more carnal than your average Bigfoot. And I think that, you know, some maybe these Bigfoot creatures are getting blamed for the actions of the Janasqua or the mountain giants, you know, and Dogman as well. I don't think Dogman is nearly as violent as Bigfoot.
First, when you see some species of monkeys, yeah, when you watch BBC or National Geographic, and you watch the behavior and the hunting techniques from some monkeys, some of them are really scary. They
Yeah,
can scare the
savage.
fuck out of you. Yeah, and and they are scary as hell. And if a Sasquatch is a maybe there are some species who are more predator-like, more aggressive, and yeah, absolutely possible that some of them are man-eaters. I believe
Right.
that.
That it's, yeah, like you
And
said, certain species. That's more reasonable than,
yeah,
all of them are just crazy man killers. And
no, I think there are various species. I think Sasquatch is a more complicated topic than Dogman. And I had a theory.
really,
I talked with Matt with Dead Man Talking a few days ago, and he said to me he has a theory um, that I had too. I thought about it too. That maybe the European species are a little bit different from the American species.
uh,
So,
you're probably right. Just because of the geography and the topography of
mm-hmm.
where they are, that'll change an entire species of creature. Just from going from one point to another.
Especially the climatic zones are different. And I also think that, for example, Sasquatch in a cold area is completely different from a south from an area which is more humid and warm, and there are a lot of differences, I think.
They say supposedly the Yeti that stay in the Antarctic and
Yeah,
all that.
yeah,
They say that they're way more aggressive than even the Janoskwa. That they look for opportunities to kill and take people, and they're a whole lot
yeah.
bigger. So that may be, and that makes sense scientifically as well, because colder climates they'd have to put on more mass to stay warm and survive.
Ah, it's a shame. We have a German very famous hiker. He is searching his whole life for the Yeti, and he was 100 times in the Himalaya area in Tibet and all that stuff to search for it, and he saw it several times,
Oh wow!
and he's absolutely sure about it that it exists, and it's indeed aggressive, like I heard it, and yeah, this is also a special species, but I think this Yeti is just in Asia. I don't believe we have a Yeti, for example, in Germany or
Right.
in the States. I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
Maybe in
Maybe the mountain giants,
yeah,
as they call them, maybe they're an offshoot or another type of species that are similar, but I think that the Yeti are something exclusive unto themselves.
no. I just wanted to say the hardest part is to study all these different species and to find out to figure out what's the difference between them.
Right. The real difference is not hearsay or
Yeah,
secondhand gossip.
yeah,
That is the hardest part, to
yeah,
get real facts and
yeah.
real data.
That's what we are doing. What we try to figure out.
We try to. Yes, ma'am. That's why you're a welcome addition, and we really do look forward to the BDRP Europe, the BDRP UK
Oh
Europe
yeah,
opening up, and
UK
you and
Europe.
Matt. I can't wait to see what you guys do with that. Matt is a researcher in his own respect, looking up the history of all this stuff, and um, maybe I'll be a guest on his late show when that opens up.
Absolutely, Matt is amazing, and he know a lot, and he take it absolutely serious, and he have sometimes very, very, very interesting theories. I always enjoy to talk with him.
He's
Um,
very good theories.
Absolutely a very, very good researcher. Yeah,
A deep thinker, and he has well thought ideas and you know theoretical hypothesis, or he postulates. We all sit around and think, oh well, is it this, is it that, but he really puts depth and thought into it, and he has a big heart. He really cares about the people he talks to, and that's one of the main reasons I,
absolutely,
I chose him to be our affiliate in the UK, because I knew he would take it seriously and do right by the people. So Dead Man Talking,
absolutely.
folks, I'll leave his link down in the description box below. And again, all the evidence you've seen over the course of this video is from our friend Countess Kerstin in Germany, and she will have a lot more as we move forward, as well as interviews that she'll be conducting, and the many languages she knows from people who've had experiences with these creatures over in Europe. And we're really, really excited about that. Again, much respect to your courage for going out into the field. I don't know if a lot of people know, but you are doing this by yourself, and you're tougher than me. I after the first year, I was like, no, I got to find somebody.
Yeah, actually, I'm a bit addicted to it now, and it's a kind of destiny, you know. I don't do it because it's just for fun or something.
Right.
I take this absolutely serious, and I know it's my destiny. I have to do this. I have no choice, and but also I enjoy this so much because it sounds maybe weird for people, but it's it's a part of me now, you know.
Absolutely.
The
You've
research is
seen
not a
things that most
it's not a
people haven't.
hobby.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people do look at it as, collecting stamps or something like that, but these are real creatures affecting real people. And
This is
yeah, not only are you getting evidence
mind
of the
blowing.
creature, yeah, it is. It's absolutely mind blowing to think that these things have been
Yeah.
here for thousands of years, and we think it's just some cartoon or TV show that they're putting out there.
I think these beings are much better developed than we are because they survived so perfectly and they know how to hide. And it is so hard in this artificial world, and they do this perfectly. And
Right.
I have a huge respect, honestly.
Yeah, as do I. You have to have respect for them. I mean, they're truly fascinating and amazing creatures. It's almost like nature and the environment helps them in a way. As crazy as that sounds,
Yep.
they not only survive, but they excel and thrive, where we would have a difficult time just living, in a natural environment without the tools we make.
Yeah, absolutely. They are perfectly built for this planet and much better than we are.
It makes
We
you
are
think
completely
sometimes.
lost here.
Yeah, we're the only things on this planet that don't seem to belong, you know?
Yep, that's what I mean.
Well, Miss Kerstin, I sincerely thank you for sitting down with us and sharing some of your research and experiences and thoughts. And look forward to our next fireside chat.
It was just a little bit of what I experienced here. We was just talking about maybe 20% about it or
Right. That's why
less,
we
and
got to get you back quick.
yeah, we will definitely. And yeah, I enjoyed it, and thank you so much for the show.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
hope everybody will be well informed and entertained by this.
Outstanding. And we will be opening the BDRP UK Europe division soon. It's a work in progress.
Definitely.
Keep checking
I
back.
can't wait for it. It will be. Yeah.
Thank
It
you
will
again,
be
folks,
awesome.
for listening. And
Anyways.
thank you, Kerstin, for being such a open and very, very nice and open person for sharing all your
Thank you
research.
so much. Thank you.